We are live on Facebook.
What? There we are.
Trippin live on Facebook.
Okay, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to see who comes on. Last time I couldn't see anybody who joined.
One
I
of
was-
the one of the things about people joining and whatnot that for Be Live to show us who they are, they have to give Be Live permission. So there's this whole thing about
Oh,
that.
there we are. Okay, I found you and I'm sharing you.
But again, the other thing is you can usually see it on your Facebook then. So
Right.
all right, so let me also see if I can find the stream.
All right, so if
share
anybody's
it.
here, we're being all technical.
We are. Please forgive us. We're not just looking at our phones to ignore you. We're trying to share this. Okay, there it is. I found it.
Right,
There's
right.
already a
All
share
right, and then
on my page, Susan Gable.
and I did both of mine.
Okay,
And
I'm on your page, but
Can you see it? Did it pop up yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna refresh.
Okay.
All right, double checking. I could see it on mine before though. Yep, I can see us.
I can see us too. Usually the weird thing is if you're looking at your phone, there's a lag from what we see here
okay.
on the screen, then there's a lag down there. So yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
I'm gonna check my power. Hang on one second.
Okay. Power is good, Jen. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, I think I need to plug in. Hang on. It's chaos.
Oh,
Chaos.
yeah.
Well, there we go.
I'm back.
Okay, and I got it. I'm on both of mine.
And then the other thing is, Jen, there'll be an actual video available that I'll get to you that you can then post on your website, do whatever you want with it. So probably by tomorrow. Anyway.
Totally doable.
Anyway, so Holly, you know Jen. I did.
You like that?
And I do not. So I'm going to let you do the initial introduction.
Well, for anybody who's out there watching, this is our friend, my friend, Jen, soon to be Susan's friend.
Yes.
Jen McKinlay. We met because we both wrote for duets. So we're both
a million years ago. Like a million years ago.
Like, yeah, literally a million.
Like
back in the Stone Age.
Oh my God. Seriously.
And now she is like a New York Times bestselling author, USA Today bestselling author. She writes mysteries, she writes women's fiction, and she writes romance. And
busy.
Just as diverse as you, Holly. Awesome.
Right?
And she rides a skateboard. I do not ride a skateboard. I am glad to be walking with no crutches.
Yes.
She rides go to her website when we're done. Not now, watch us. But yeah, she rides a skateboard.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
family
Yeah,
thing.
I'm too much of a klutz to ride a skateboard. So yeah. So there we go. There's our websites. Whoops. That was somehow I lost Jen.
Oh no, you're still there, but we can't see you.
I gotta find her. Where'd she go?
Jen, can you hear us?
I don't see her.
Did you lose her completely?
Maybe.
Well,
maybe we lost her.
Watching this right now. This is Jen's book that's here where Jen was.
Her mystery. Yes.
And I have to confess, I love that she does dogs in so many of her books. We all know that I'm a big dog fan. So I find that. And she has a library mystery set that I love and a cupcake mystery set. So cupcakes, libraries, the hat, I wear a hat at camp. And I sent Susan a picture. So
I don't think I managed to upload the picture.
Oh, that's okay. So I wear a hat at camp. It is the disgusting like camp hat. That's about it for cat hats. That's as far as I go. We've well and truly lost her.
We did. I'm like, I don't know where she went. Like, where'd she go?
I'm checking my email.
There you go. Check your email.
Anyways,
maybe she pulled the power cord
again
out on accident, and we don't know where.
On purpose. I don't know. So yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything on my phone. So, but she does cupcakes and libraries. mysteries. Like, I just don't feel you can go wrong with a Jenn McKinlay book because cupcakes and libraries
And dogs.
and dogs. Yep. So,
Cupcakes sound like a great
oh,
mystery
they are
thing.
hysterically.
Oh, there she's coming back.
There she is.
Okay. Where'd you go?
I still can't see her here.
She's coming.
There you are.
There
There
she
I was just
is.
talking about you.
I can imagine that idiot. No,
No,
it was weird. I got a
we-
message that the stream was over, and then it just went poof. Isn't that weird?
Well, that technology failed.
It was like,
Well,
your
you're
stream is over, and I'm like, but we just started.
Okay,
well,
I
you're
did
our
not turn it
second-
off, so
you're our
I
second guest. So we're working out the kinks with
yeah,
you.
and it's been a while since we did the first one, so I was here at like 10 after 6 trying to make sure I could make
Was
sure
workable.
everything was working. So
Ah, gotcha.
yeah. Yes.
All right. How about Jen? Why don't you tell us about your newest book, Buried to the Brim, that's up right now?
Oh,
Don't
cool.
tell
Okay.
us too much, but tell us something
Yeah,
about
little.
it that you'd
I
like
won't
to
tell you who did it. How's
Yeah,
that?
don't
I
tell us who
That's all it's
Buried to the Brim is the London Hat Shop mystery series. It's the 6th one, and the series had ended, but I had a little window, and I know Holly knows this. You get a little bit of free time, and it's
and
like,
you must fill it.
right. I think I'll just write another book. So, I asked the publisher, I'm like, would you let me? And I said, sure. So it was just kind of, the series had ended on the 5th book in Paris. And while I loved writing that one, it was just kind of like, their home is London. And I just really wanted them home for the final, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I wrote that one, and I don't know. It's like there could be more. I'm never say never anymore, because before I've been like, oh yeah, there's no more, and then
It's
the publisher
done.
comes
Wait,
back.
no,
Yeah.
wait.
Wait, they want more. Hang on, let me, So, but I loved it. It's got a dog show in it. I named every dog in my family, and it's corgis. So it was just fun. It was a
Is
lot
that
of
what
fun
kind
to
of
write.
dog you have?
No, I have a schnauzer.
Okay.
It was a little, gentleman with the eyebrows. The
Yeah.
mustache. And then we have a rescue that we found her thrown out in an alley.
Oh,
Yeah, her name's Annie. She's supposedly part pit bull, part Australian cattle dog,
Oh,
but she's scared of everything. Like,
aw.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't even argue around here because it would upset the dog.
oh, that's so sad. When we had Ethel Merman was a rescue and came with issues. That's why we bought Ella Fitzgerald, because Ethel needed a support dog. And so
Yes, they need a buddy.
she had a lot of issues.
No, are you dogless now?
Yes, it's
Douglas, yeah.
it's awful. I can't even it's awful. And with my leg is still messed up, and so I'm not really ready to train a dog. And we want to get something younger, just because I have the boys. I don't
Right.
She was having another dog with issues.
Right. They have to be hardy.
Right. So
Get a big dog.
we're looking at bigger dogs. Not another old English Mastiff, which was the best dog ever. I just can't do the slime again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There is that.
There was copious amounts of slime. Like, he'd been gone for a long time, and I found another like slime runner up on the ceiling, and I like climbing up. It's never.
My dog has been gone. I don't even know how many years it's been now. A long time, like probably close to 10 years. And my furniture and stuff, you still find hidden, dried slime.
Oh yeah.
I had an English Mastiff as well. So.
It's indestructible. It's just like it is.
It's like, yes,
slime lasts forever.
Survive a nuclear war, everything. It will just there will still be slime there.
They're the size of furniture. I mean, these are not small. It's like my husband wants a Great Dane.
Yeah,
that's like buying another coffee table or dining room table. Do you know what I mean?
Honest, having had one 200-pound dog, the advantage to something that big is that you have no energy.
Like, speaking of dogs, if you can hear me.
Yeah. You would wake up and go for a walk, and then have to spend the next 12 hours sleeping to recuperate.
Right.
Yeah, they're just big lugs. Yeah. Currently, I covet an Irish wolfhound.
Oh, that's
I
what you're looking at.
Love one of those.
They're pretty.
So if I have an Irish wolfhound, I've named them. I have 2 boys. You ready for it?
Okay.
It's Hamish and Angus, and I call them Ham and Beef for short.
Oh, good grief.
That's so Holly.
Exactly. That is
That is like the
very
best name ever.
It is a good name. It is a good name.
There. All right.
So how did you guys meet in person the first time then? So was it at a romance conference or something like that?
It
I
has
think it was.
it has
think
to have
so.
been RWA at some point or another. I can't.
Yeah. I only went to one, so it would
No,
be the
that
one.
is
No, I
that-
went to 2. I went to 2.
okay.
So it would be the one in New York, I think.
That sounds about right. So
Yeah, it was the black and white.
Oh yeah, I went to that. So many
Mhm.
of the duets writers formed a little group, and so even the ones I think I've met everybody that we hang with. But
Yeah.
even if I haven't, it feels like I have because we've been friends now for
Spend so much time
long.
online together
Right.
and yeah.
Divorces, deaths, births.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
Grandkids, all that.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, all of it.
So let's see. Tell us about what's coming next. You've got one out next month or the month after, March or April?
April.
Okay.
I'm writing. Well, I'm not writing. It's done.
You're not in April. and just still writing. I'd be
Thank
like,
God.
"Oh, why are you on this? Go back to the computer."
Get to work. It's called Pumpkin Spice Peril. It's like I think the 12th cupcake bakery mystery,
Ooh.
but it's coming out in April and it's called Pumpkin Spice.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm kind of like,
I wonder about that. I
It's
was
like
was
Christmas in July.
Exactly. Well,
Pumpkin, it is never a wrong time of year for pumpkin.
I've
Right?
got
I
one
love
that
pumpkin.
I'm trying to finish the edits on. This is a reissue, and you can see it's like I'm like desperate to get this done because they have mittens and a winter coats on. So it's like, Susan, you really need to get this edited and out. You have to get this done and finished because pretty soon it's not going to be mitten and coat. Although Holly and I were just saying we're about to get whacked again with potentially like 9 inches of snow coming our way.
You're both in Erie, right?
Yeah.
Or Erie area, the Erie area.
Yes.
And I'm driving across the state on Saturday and I'm just watching the weather and they're like, "Oh yeah, one of our biggest snow totals this year." And it's, it's going to be bad. And I'm just like, DJ keeps saying, "Once you get to Meadville, it won't be bad. It won't be bad."
Yeah, once you get a little bit south of here, about 45 minutes.
He told me that one year when I was going to pick our son up in Philadelphia, is where he went to college, and I was driving to get him, and it was an ice storm. And I was in Floyd, so I'm in this little orange vibe in this ice storm trying to drive across state, and like cars are spinning out in front of me, and it was the whole drive, the entire 6+ hour drive was just nightmare. So I'm hoping it's not that bad. But
Yeah. We get a little rain here.
Where are you?
I'm in Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah.
you get very little rain.
Central.
You
Yeah,
get very little rain out there. So
Yeah, when it does rain, everybody stares. Like,
it's
what
a dry
what is this?
heat.
Yeah. It's a heat.
I don't think I could I think I'm much better with snow than I am with heat.
Yeah, I'll take heat. I grew up in Connecticut, so I remember, the blizzard of 78, was it? Was that our big bad one?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years ago, we had that one where I still have the picture of me sitting on my snowman that's up at the roof of the garage.
Mm-hmm.
How much snow we'd taught.
Over Christmas.
So, yeah.
I can't. Now, do you both have all your, because I set this is a question for you guys. I set my, now, Holly, I know you've set stuff in LA.
I did, but actually the character who was in LA was Quincy Mack,
the maid.
But she was from Erie. So she came
from Erie? Okay.
To visit Erie. And I'm working on one right now, and I'm talking about her. And in Erie now, in my fictional Erie, she's a celebrity because she writes for Hollywood now and solves all these mysteries. And she's an Erie girl, so we take
right
seriously. So, well, you set yours all over.
Well, that's what I was in. Susan, what about you?
I mostly stick to Erie too, or pretty close. I have one that's in Montana, but again, it starts and ends in Erie. but
Isn't that
the
funny?
bulk of it is in Montana. And, that's one of those ones too, where it's like Montana calls to me. I have never been to Montana, but there
Oh,
is
I love
something about
Montana.
Montana that really calls to me. And maybe someday I will get to go and actually see it in person. But the little town, I hijacked a little town that had a wonderful website. And so my
Oh,
fictional
cool.
town is based on this actual real town because I was like, oh, this
You
is
remember the name of the real town? Let's give them a shout.
yes, it's
Yeah.
Phillipsburg. It's Phillipsburg, Montana, and it's got a fabulous website, and it just seems like a fabulous town. They've done a lot of stuff where they've promoted to people who work via the internet. So like they've been trying to bring some people into the
Oh,
town, and
that's smart.
they built an ice
Yeah.
skating rink, and they have all the the old the stores and the candy store and all this stuff. Go look it up. It's great. Phillipsburg, Montana. Everybody's going to want to go there. So
See, look what you just started a boom.
that's right. That's right.
Sorry, I'm doing traffic control too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Dinner's totally ready, and can you tell the boys it's ready? It's on the stove. You may have to warm it up a little.
see, that's
Sorry.
the glamorous life of a writer, right? You're doing
Well,
this thing, and
and it's like 5:17 here, so my people, all men, are like, feed me,
because they cannot feed themselves. So
right?
yeah,
Right. Well, they all came in like
at the
that's
same
like,
time.
anyway.
The whole
Yes.
yeah.
And then it's that you've been home all day. Where's dinner?
Where's the food? Why isn't it on the table?
Right.
Come on.
Well, I will confess, for the couple months that I was pretty much like on the couch, himself was doing all the cooking. Here's how the cooking went. Like, I'm going to make this tonight. Okay, so he'd be out in the kitchen, and it's just around the corner, and he'd be yelling, now what do I do?
Right.
Or what? But he did great, like, for not being the normal cook in the family. Like,
He did well.
he fed me well. Like, I would.
Nice. My
And he-
husband does the meat. I don't do much of the meat. He does a lot of the meat. I mean, I can do it if it's like tonight I made fajitas. That was easy because it can just sit in the pan. But if it's grilling or anything, he's the meat and I'm the sides. So it's not
there you
bad.
go.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
to cook with fire. Fire.
So you have to throw fire in, and then they're all like, "Yeah, I'll cook."
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, we start the big fires out at camp, and I've noticed like all the little minions have their sticks with hot dogs, and they're like, it's like charcoal, and they're like, yeah, it's not done yet.
It calls them in.
Fire. My brothers were pyromaniacs. One of my
Mine too.
I put a story. I changed enough so my brothers couldn't sue me. But they started fires like everywhere, like concerning, like everywhere. And we had a milkman still. We lived out in the county, so we still had a milkman at the time. And he came down the driveway, knocked on the side door, and said to Mom, I don't want to be a tattletale. But my brother's name was sitting on, those cinder blocks with the two holes in them. They started a fire in one, and when they saw the milkman coming down the drive, he sat on it. So he was sitting on it with like smoke billowing up from his hiney. Yeah.
I think that would learn them. You know what I mean? Like, burns
it
on
doesn't,
the bum.
though.
I think that would like.
I don't think it was a large fire. Is the only saving grace to it, but yeah.
He had toasted buns.
My brothers ended up in a lot of books because they were not bright. I don't feel like
they're good material though.
Yeah, but you gotta wonder too, like think about the changes in society. Now, first of all, there would be no milkman. Number one, you wouldn't even have a milkman. But number two, like if your brothers kept starting, they would be. That's it. They'd be referred. They'd be in a counselor's office, or they'd be arrested. Who knows what today?
I don't know the county thing. We had a treehouse back in the woods, and I'm not mentioning names, but one of my friends and I had built this massively wonderful treehouse, and another set of friends burned it down. We came back there one morning, and it's charcoal, and I'm like,
gosh,
so dangerous. Like I feel that burning down a clubhouse in the middle of the woods, not the way to go.
Totally. I think about that's what my kids have talked about, how lucky we were. My husband and I are pretty free range. Like we would throw them out and like see in a couple hours.
Go.
I don't even hear from you. Yep. And they were but they got into a lot of trouble. My boys did a lot of stuff. But it's funny, a lot of their friends don't have those stories because their parents didn't do that.
Yeah.
And even my sons will be like, it was nice to have that,
Yeah, I mean,
Although, no, burning down of tree houses.
Yeah, no,
yeah, I'm
around
thinking it's
time.
really good that they live in Pennsylvania and not like California where they started the whole
But,
neighborhood on
you know,
fire.
not to age myself, but it was a while back. So I
Yeah. Well, it was free range. I mean, we were,
oh, that was
Right.
yeah, we were
Well,
not a lot in the house, and my kids too, I kick them out more often than not.
my
right?
son as
Just to
well.
get some peace and quiet, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then you would get the occasional, I one day I was writing and and then there's a knock at the door and I go down and yes, it's one of the little boys from the neighborhood. Mrs. G, TJ's stuck in a tree.
Really?
Okay. Let me go. So that's that. Go out and get the ladder from the garage, put the ladder up against the tree, rescue the kid from
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh, you're
or
snuck.
look out the office window and it was a Cape Cod house and look out the window and the garage was in the back and there's my kid on the garage roof,
Oh, my
so
kids
you're like,
love the garage roof too.
get off there.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yep. Ours was, I think I don't know, there was a couple of really good ones, but I think my best mom moment was when it got quiet, right? And I was
Yes.
writing and I kind of was, uh-oh. And I found them with a water cooler full of water balloons and they were waiting for the mailman. And he was
Oh.
right down the street. And I was like, ah, because pretty sure that's a felony.
Probably accosting a mailman, yeah, on his appointed rounds, not a good
And I
thing.
just thought, oh
Oh,
my
yeah,
God, what if the instincts hadn't kicked in?
See, you got to listen to that little voice.
Mm.
well, I love torturing my children with unique punishments. So
Ooh.
when the two oldest ones were so close together in age, and when they were just being abominable, they'd have to sit in the center of the living room floor and touch noses for a period of time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It is impossible to still be mad at somebody when you're sitting with your nose against them for 10 minutes.
I
Great.
like that.
Oh, that was one of my better ones. And I never did it, and I lived for somebody to do it. So if anybody's watching, I wanted to have a half-ass day. And you tell them to do jobs and they do it like bare minimum, not right. So I thought it would be perfect to have one day where I did that all day. Like, here's your dinner and serve them a frozen hamburger patty. You want to ride to your baseball game? Sure. Go halfway there, turn around and go home. I feel there's so many possibilities with this that
Oh, absolutely.
it would have been perfect. But my
Yeah.
best parenting was laundry. Like you
Mhm.
send it up and they wouldn't put it away, so you'd ask for the dirty clothes and they'd send down clean.
Back,
And
right.
then, so the one week I'm like, okay, it was all clean clothes with the dirty clothes. I gave them their allowances. I said, great, now go get your clothes. They brought all the clean clothes down. I'm like, great, go put them in the car. I drove them to the laundromat. I said, I'll be back in an hour to pick you up. Here's your allowance. Go do your own laundry.
Whoa, I love it.
Well, and I told them not to leave the laundromat, and years later they confessed they went next door to like Circle K or whatever it was next door. It was a good neighborhood. I feel like it was okay. They were old enough. But
Right.
we didn't leave. We went and got pops. And I'm like, okay.
We didn't do our laundry.
No, they probably just threw it back. Quick,
The
just
next
fold
week.
it. It's already clean. Remember, Mom washed it
Right.
last week. We'll just put it back.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
funny.
Kids. So, do you borrow a lot, Jen, from reality at all?
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think all writers, things happen and then you kind of put them in your own blender and then they come out differently. But it's
absolutely.
totally based on, that certain thing.
Those
And
little
maybe the person remembers it or not, but you do.
people never see themselves on like negative characters. Even if
Oh,
you
I know.
do,
It's hilarious.
like,
Yeah.
I do think, oh my God, they're going to notice. And they never.
Right.
So
No, they think they're the good guy. It's like, yeah.
So you do mysteries. Do you ever indulge in literary revenge?
Oh, I have a list. Yeah,
okay.
I can
A
drink.
hit
Yeah,
list. There you go.
absolutely. I was a public servant, a librarian for 20 plus years.
Oh, bless you. We love
Yeah, I
librarians.
know. They're good people.
They are.
But yeah,
Mostly.
it's a tough
I'm
job.
not so happy about that recent did you see the
Oh,
whole
the
thing
ones
about the
reading the romances?
romance
Yes.
shaming
I
librarian?
didn't like that. I
No,
couldn't
I
believe
didn't
that.
see it.
Oh,
I
it was
see it come out
terrible. They have a party where they read like the worst, what they consider the worst writing in a romance novel. And then I think there's a winner, isn't there?
Oh,
But they do
I
a
don't know,
dramatic
but
reading. It's not
I'm
good.
like,
It's not
they're
good.
lucky that the romance writers are not marching on their library right now
Well,
because,
the romance writers are busy with their own dramas.
well, that aside, yes, I know.
Otherwise,
but
they'd be gunning for the librarians.
yeah. Well, no, I saw a lot of people who were a little bit up in arms over the whole
As they should
thing.
be. I don't think that's not good librarianship.
That's not. I mean, you should be encouraging reading in all forms. If
Well,
it's comic books or whatever, then yay.
Exactly.
Yes, the librarians in my life, we had the Bookmobile again out in the county that would come down, and they got to know my taste. So they would like hide books for me behind the desk. And like
Nice.
they'd say, "Ooh, I found these. I think you're really gonna like them. So take them home and give them a try." They were fantastic about, and I'm pretty sure I read Heinlein for the first time because somebody on the
Brought it.
Bookmobile gave me,
Oh, that's the best.
Spacesuit Will Travel. I think is the
Right.
first, either that one or Podcane of Mars. Those are the first two
Okay.
I read.
I think I read Red Planet early. That was one of
Is
my
that yours?
first.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Most of my best books came from librarians.
Well, my big guilty buy was the entire Robert Heinlein series, the Virginia edition, that his wife had. They're all leather bound, like spines crack when you open them. Every now and then I pull an old one that I love down, and you just go, oh. A good book is great, but a good book that's like leather bound, good book.
Yeah, well, it's gonna outlive you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, not that we're gonna die anytime soon, but
So,
But yeah, I always like the idea about leather bound, gilt edges.
oh, yeah, I know. So,
You know what I mean.
all right, and you have your first women's fiction coming out in the summer?
I do. I'm very excited. Very excited.
So give us
I had a friend of mine. A friend of mine read it and she said, "I think you've hit that." How did she put it? It was really good. She said, "You've hit that mythical sweet spot between romantic comedy and women's fiction."
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was like, yes.
What's the title?
It's accurate. It's called Paris is Always a Good Idea. And it's essentially a woman, a 30-year-old professional, realizes that she's just become a workaholic. She's kind of lost her way. So she goes back to the gap year of her youth to find the 3 men she fell in love with and see if she can remember how to be happy again, find her old self. But of course, nothing goes as planned. So,
Exactly.
This one is not set in Arizona, correct?
No. This was the best. It's Ireland, County Kerry, Paris, naturally, and then Tuscany.
Oh, nice.
And did you get the chance to go do any firsthand research for this?
Absolutely.
Oh.
That was like, a friend of mine writes a mystery series in Oklahoma, and she just said, "What am I doing?"
What was I thinking?
And it's historical, so it's even harder. And she said, "Next time," and she actually just had a book come out. Her name's Donna Casey. She's a great writer, but she just started one in LA. So we double back to LA.
Oh, there you are. LA.
And it's also historical, which I love old Hollywood. I mean, what's not to like?
Oh.
So, but yeah, you definitely have to pick your settings. But like doubling back again, you guys both really are around Erie.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, I have a friend in LA who works in Hollywood. And so like, I'm like, can I do this? Like, how long would it take if she had a book and they want to produce it as a made for TV movie? Like, how quick because I know sometimes those turnarounds are pretty quick.
Right.
A trial and 2 months later it's on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pushed the limits and she was accurate with what she told me. So I would send her my stupid questions and then I'd just do what I want anyways. I'm like,
close enough. It's fiction.
That's right. Come on.
I fudge this a little bit. It's sort of like having a cop for a husband. I ask him questions. Fully
what's the point,
to do the right thing. And then, you just fudge it around the middle a little.
Yeah. I like to say it's fiction. Lighten up.
So have we had any questions yet, Susan? I can't.
No, I don't. I don't know how many live folk we got. There's one person out there watching. I don't know who it is right now. At this very moment, there's one person. So I don't know, and I haven't seen anything on any of our things, and nobody but again, I gotta confess, like, what do we have, like a 2-day lead with this?
Yeah,
I was
I
going crazy
Well,
yesterday,
you
like,
know what?
I gotta get a promo piece made.
To do this back before I went into the hospital again.
Right.
And
Right,
you know, you
right.
gotta look
There
out
was
and
a plan.
out. So the fact that we will be recording this and it can go out later, I think
Exactly. That's the
exactly.
beauty of it, is
Yeah.
there'll be an actual video of it, and we can plaster it all over. We can put it
And
on
if they
all
want
of
to
our
ask
websites.
questions,
And if they
we'll
want to
answer
ask
the
questions,
then.
that's right. We'll forward them
no,
to you.
Okay, so I'll ask you a couple of the big questions Susan and I have addressed in our Tripping with Holly and Susan videos.
Which I love. Anybody out there should watch those videos. They're hilarious.
Thank you.
So toilet paper, over or under?
Oh my God, over. Like, it's not even a debate.
That is the correct answer.
Like the under people, like it's just wrong. And I swear
It is.
people in the house here do it occasionally under just to drive me insane. And it's everything I can do not to take it off and put it on the.
Oh, I do take it off. Oh no, absolutely.
I have
would.
to fix it. I totally fix it. Yeah.
I
think
really,
that's a relationship. I think that we could write that into any of our books as a relationship breaker. Like, well, why'd you break up with him? He was under. I'm over.
He was, and he wouldn't change. He just wouldn't change.
I wouldn't do it correctly. All right.
Exactly.
Porches. That was this week's question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you a porch lover? And if so, are you a back porch lover or a front porch lover?
Oh, I have both. I'm definitely back porch though, because I write on the back porch. It's quieter.
Yep.
And I can let my dogs run around. So, and I have the cushier chairs on the back porch. But the front porch I like when I'm not working, because I can read out there and kind of, scout the neighborhood.
Be nosy. Get fodder
look
for
books.
Material. That's right.
Exactly.
Find new. Exactly.
So there's a research porch and a writing porch.
I like that. That is
but the
awesome.
preference is the writing porch, because got to get it done.
You have to get it done. Susan, any questions from you?
Are you now, or were you into having critiques done of your work? That's one of the things where Holly and I are very different and very divergent. Like, I have a couple critique partners, and I like almost wouldn't think about putting something out there without running it by them first.
Oh, I'm in the Holly camp.
You're in the Holly camp. Okay.
Yeah. Nobody reads my stuff until my editor gets it. It's like, I'll get enough grief from her. I don't need it from anybody else.
I think that's Holly's theory. Why add more,
It's more work. I can't do it.
I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it. I had told her I had seen a workshop recently that came out of the 20K to 50 books conference from Vegas last year, a science fiction writer. And she had this whole thing. That's what she was like, that's kind of her thing. Like, write it and move it on. Just that's it. Because you're never going to please everybody. And, no matter what, just do it and move along.
And then pretend you didn't.
I'm trying to embrace that concept more, because
well, okay, here's a question back at you guys. Do you read your reviews?
Some of them.
I never do, probably is fibbing, but I try not to do it too often. Because and really, as far as I know, most of them are nice, but every now and then, like if you do peek and there's one that's like, and it's not the nice ones you focus on.
No,
it's the people that say, "Oh, she's wonderful." It's the one that says, that one of them, and it still sticks with me, said that I wasn't funny. I just thought I was. I tried too hard. And everything in me wanted to write back, "I'm very funny. You must not have a sense of humor."
Well, I think it depends on where you read them, right? Because I'm very there are certain places I won't go to read because I know better.
Goodreads,
right?
Goodreads.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I won't go. But Amazon, I do, and the funny thing is just the things that people pick up. I get very good reviews, and the only bad reviews I get on the, particularly on the one that's like the first of my trilogy, people who go, "This is not a Christian book," and I'm like, I never said it was a Christian book. It's like I do write family drama romance, but like there's love scenes in there, and people. I finally put a disclaimer on the description on Amazon. I don't know if Amazon had like put it into a wrong category or something. I'm like, this is not a Christian romance. However, same book. Okay, now the cover has a couple holding hands with a little boy between them on the beach. This is the cover. It's called A Hero to Keep. One of the more recent bad reviews said, this is not a BDSM romance. And I'm going, what in the world? How did you even get that idea? There is a couple with a child on the cover. What?
Oh, that's classic.
That's wrong.
That's I was gonna say that's just
on so many levels. Like,
but I had
so many levels.
Seen in Just One Thing where she stopped going to church. It was not a Christian romance, but she stopped going. And as her journey is winding down and she's coming to her realization of who she is and where she's at now, she goes back to church. Literally like a 3-paragraph section. And somebody said, well, I didn't think I was getting a Christian romance. And I'm like, but I don't think I ever mentioned like a denomination. It could have been pretty much any religion.
Right.
We wanted it to be just that she had left and she is back. And I felt that was important to her journey. And so
that does not qualify as a Christian romance. I hate to burst your bubble. So
you know what? I tell my stories and I really try not to get too lost in, because you can make yourself crazy. I just
totally.
I tell stories to delight myself. I find myself wickedly funny, even if a certain reviewer at one point didn't. But I spend my day laughing for the most part. And if I'm writing a sad book, I make myself cry.
Right.
And I feel that if that's a good job, no matter how you look at it.
Great job. I mean, yeah, I don't want to do anything else. Now, reviews are interesting. Like, it's interesting to me. Some people will tell you should read your reviews because it's, insight into your process. And I thought, no, because
no.
I'm not going to rewrite the book. It's done.
Exactly.
What's the point?
I did. I'll tell you, one of my books, Promise to Keep, there was one review. And the person had an issue with something towards the end of the book. And I said, you know what? That person is absolutely right. Like, what was I thinking? Where was my editor? What was I thinking? And I did, when I reissued the book, I changed it because I absolutely thought that person had nailed. It was a constructive criticism that really nailed it. So I changed it.
Good for you. Now I'm all nervous that I should be.
No, because here's the other thing. Like, again, it's one of those things where, when it's done and we let it go, it's until or unless, like me, you get the rights back. Then you have to decide. Like right now, the reason that one book is not ready to go out for the winter, because I have to find all the flip phones and get rid of them. My characters back then had a tendency to snap their phones shut all the time.
Now, see, you might be doing a disservice because there's a new flip phone coming back.
There is, but yeah, no. But so I have to
She's not going for it.
No, I'm not buying that.
With that kind of stuff, generally, like if I have an older book, Motley put out a couple of the earliest things I did. If I went back and rewrote them today, it was the same kernel of an idea and wrote a book about it, it would be an entirely different book than it was back then.
Right.
But I feel that you can figure that out, that you can say, oh, she wrote this like in the early 2000s.
Stone Age.
Yeah, Stone Age, dinosaurs.
But,
it's a dilemma.
Yeah.
How about you?
Things change. I think I do read reviews, but mostly only ones that are like in the professional magazine type stuff. So if it's Library Journal or Book List, Publishers Weekly, those can be, painful. but I'll read those. But I don't read Goodreads, and I don't read Amazon. Just because if you read them, if you read my husband always says, he's like, well, if you read the 1 stars, those aren't right. And if you read the 5 stars, those really aren't right either. You're probably somewhere in the 3 stars,
No, of course
accurately.
the 5 stars are right, Jen.
Well, he's a musician, so he totally gets it. He's like, you can't believe the awesome, awesome, and you can't believe the bad, bad. He's like, probably most of us fall somewhere in the 2 to 4. And I don't need to read those, so I'm good.
Yep.
Oh, well, I think my battery is dying as we're doing this.
All right, well, I'm gonna pop Jen's book up there again.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I'm gonna pop up the crawler with our website addresses. So
while we're doing that, though, now do all of your mysteries that are in a series stand alone. So if I were a first-time reader, which I'm not, could I pick up Buried to the Brim and feel caught up within a few pages? Could I enjoy the book?
I think theoretically you should be able to.
Okay.
From what I've heard from people who like, oh, I just found your 4th book. It was good. They didn't feel like they'd missed out. But
Awesome.
I think when you're when you're in a series, something's happened before.
Obviously, you should start and read the series completely through.
Right, but no, I think you could just pick up an individual.
If you jump in at one place, then you go back to the beginning. That's the beauty of that.
And the librarian in me, like the series junkie librarian, it's like I have to start at book 1 and work my way all the way through. I'm kind of, OCD that way.
Do you have to write that way? Do you write that way?
I do. I write on page 1 to the end.
Me too. I am a sequential person. I don't understand. I think it's amazing people who can just write random scenes and then stitch them together and then, make it.
Well, that's like, last question from me. Are you plotters or are you seat of the pantsers?
Oh, seat of the pantser. Who's learned a little bit. But
I'm a plotter.
Me too. I can't.
A plotter with pantser plots, like I can't plot
right.
out. I plot the high points and then go.
Yeah. I need a map. I just need a map.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've learned after all these books, I've learned to do that, but still my comfort zone, and I still do it for just kicks and giggles. Just One Thing was a book that I just wrote with no idea where it was going.
Sorry.
It makes me kind of sick.
There's a spider in my office. I don't like spiders in my offices. They can live outside, but not in my house.
How professional we are here, Jen.
I know. It's really, I like it.
Totally professional. We've got it all going on. But I am
too funny.
So happy that you put up with us with this. And
this was so fun. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, we will shoot you. Actually, I'll tell you what. We'll say goodbye to these folks and then hang for a bit, and then we'll have a little chat on the side. They don't get to see.
All right. So whoever's been watching this, thank you so much for dropping in.
And we will see you next time.